After so many years of running the Storefront theme on Business Bloomer, finally I decided to switch theme. And today I'm going to show you how I'm going to migrate from one theme to another, which will be the Shoptimizer theme from Commerce Gurus, in a way where I try to match whatever design I have, which you might be aware it's been maybe 10 years of customization, 10 years of CSS, PHP, custom design, blocks, and the likes that I'm going to basically replicate in Shoptimizer. Now, you might think, why are you doing this? You crazy? I say, you know what? I've built the Checkout Summit website with Shoptimizer. I really saw the potential, for design, for performance, for conversion rate optimization. So there are so many features that will make my Business Bloomer website perfect that I say, why wouldn't I do it for Business Bloomer as well? So my plan is today to basically migrate Business Bloomer from the Storefront theme to the Shoptimizer theme and show you how I go through the process of installing it, how I go through the process of trying to match the design that I already have, so colors, layouts, paddings, margins, footers, and so on. And then at the very end, I also go and implement all the great features that Shoptimizer comes with that I wish I knew it sooner, and I wish I did it sooner. I must say, this is not an affiliate video. I'm not here to promote Shoptimizer, but if you want, in the video description, you can find my affiliate link. So if you like what I'm about to do, which is migrating my real website, my real WooCommerce business from the out-of-date Storefront theme to this brand new experience by Shoptimizer, then feel free to follow me through this process. And also, if you wish to check Shoptimizer out, maybe click on the affiliate link. It's a great way to show your appreciation for what I'm about to do today. Now, you might wonder why Shoptimizer. Could have picked anything out there, really. But if you go to my YouTube channel, there is an actual playlist of 6 videos of myself going through the process of setting up and building the Checkout Summit website with the Shoptimizer theme. So, I really loved the experience. I really loved, going through all the features. And you know what? I said, why wouldn't I do the exact same for Business Bloomer? All I need is a premium license, which, to be honest, is super cheap. I think you can buy for $49 for year 1 and then renews at $99 per year. So I said, gosh, I should really, move my website away from this and onto this. So that's the plan. Now, the very first thing that I had to do, of course, was creating a staging site. So as you can see here, we have businessbloomer.com. This is my storefront setup, but instead, I'm going to move on to the admin of my staging site. As you can see, there is a kind of a test domain name, but it's an exact copy of my Business Bloomer website. So as you can see, I am under appearance themes, and you can see that I'm be using a storefront child theme. So all I have to do in order to switch, first of all, is installing Shoptimizer. So I'm going to add a theme, and I'm going to upload it, choose a file from my computer, and then click on install now. In a matter of seconds, the theme will be installed, and if I want, I can activate it. So I'm going to click on it straight away. Now, first of all, this theme requires the following plugin, Kirki, and also recommends CommerceKit, which is, if you watched my playlist, is there basically extra 20 WooCommerce features for conversion optimization, Elementor if you're onto page builders, and the demo import if you want to import their demo files. Of course, all I want for now is Kirki. So I'm going to begin installing plugins, and I should get the list of them and click on install under Kirki and return to require plugins and activate Kirki. Perfect. I will be looking at CommerceKit later, but for now I can just install it and activate it. Okay. I'm not interested in Elementor because I use the WordPress editor. I'm not interested in the demo import, which would look very much like the demo that we've seen earlier from the Shoptimizer website. Now, I kind of feel excited, but at the same time, I know that the whole, website layout is going to break. So let's take a look at the homepage. I'm going to right-click, open the tab, and here we go. So my logo is being kept. That's the live website. The menu is moved to the bottom, even if I kind of like the fact that it's on the same line as the logo. We have the cart with an item in it. If I click, a nice sliding cart pops up, slides in actually. We have a nice search bar in there, which I don't have in here. I just had to kind of come up with something else, which is a link to the footer search. Instead, in here, we have a fully functional search in the header. And then, of course, the homepage content, which would be Gutenberg. So as you can see, I might need to do some additional work to make sure that it looks good. At the moment, there is some alignment problems, some margins, some paddings. Overall, something that I might need to fix one by one. Now, first thing that I want to do is working on the header. I know for sure that in Shoptimizer you have some cool functions in the customizer, and that's why you need to install Kirki, because it gives you extra rooms for Shoptimizer options in the customizer. So I'm just going to click on it, and if you open the customizer in the sidebar, I'm logged in, of course. So we should get there now. Perfect. And I want to work on to the header and the navigation. So the cool thing about Shoptimizer is that I don't need to come up with custom code to build a top bar. Okay. So in here, I can simply say, I want a top bar enabled. And do I want to hide it on mobile? No, I don't want to, because I want to place the most important call to action in there. Like in my case, it's reserve your seat for our next WooCommerce class. I can adjust the padding and I can adjust the font size. But at the moment, we have no content in a top bar. So what I have to do is I have to go into widgets, and I need to go onto the top bar center and add a text widget. This text widget, I will be copying it from this HTML. So I'm going to inspect. I'm going to get the whole span in here. I'm going to copy outer HTML and paste it into the code editor. I don't need the span because it will automatically put a paragraph, I guess, because it's a widget. And now I have my reserve your free seat for our next masterclass pointing to one of the website pages. So I'm going to publish, and now I can already see the top bar, which comes with something up there. So the top bar, it's done. All I need to do maybe is some coloring of the top bar. So I'm going to go onto colors, top bar, and the background, in my case, if I inspect the top bar, is using this color code here, which I'm going to copy. And in the customizer, under background, I'm going to paste. And here we are. So this kind of dark blue is done. In regard to the color for the font, it's this kind of orange. So I'm going to paste this orange in here, and I have it. Perfect. And there is also a border, which I don't think I do want to have, because it's kind of neat. It doesn't need a border if you're moving from one shade of blue to another. So I'm going to say it's going to be transparent. So if I hit delete, it's going to give me transparent. Perfect. So I'm going to publish this just in case. And now I want to go back to the header navigation header to figure out what sort of layout I can have with Shoptimizer. And this is also one of the reasons why I'm moving to Shoptimizer, because I have in here loads of choices for the layout and I can play with them until I'm super happy. So we've said the search is vital to find a WooCommerce resource. The menu is also important, and of course the cart is super important as well. So at the moment this is using the logo, the search, and a potential secondary menu, as you can see here, on the same line. And below we're getting the main navigation and the cart. I could also put, for example, logo, navigation, and cart. Kind of have everything on the same line, which I also like. And if you can see here, you can also have a search magnifying glass basically out of the box, because we said to enable it from here. It'll open in a modal, which is much better than what I have at the moment. And I can even display an account icon on desktop. So this is really cool as well. And it should show a little user icon just following up from the menu. So I'm going to publish. And in fact, if I go on to the home page, I should be able to see both the search icon and the account icon. So let's see if it actually works. Yes, as you can see here, it adds a search and it opens in a modal, or the My Account, and it sends you to the My Account page, which is really cool and super optimized. So I kind of like that. Now, I want to work on the logo. I believe if I restore, because I used to have the Business Bloomer logo, the complete one, while now is only using the icon, basically. I would love to put here Business Bloomer, so the full version of the logo, and reduce the length of this menu. Of course, now that the account icon is there, I don't need the login any longer. So I can just keep my maybe main 3 links where I really want people to go. In regard to the color, the header has a blue background. So I'm trying to inspect the header from Storefront, which should be down here. Perfect. So the background is using this shade of blue. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going once again to the customizer. I'm going to colors, header, and the background will be using the same shade. Perfect. The border color, once again, I want to delete it. Perfect. In regard to mobile, we will work later on it. So that's the hamburger menu icon and background of the sliding menu, the color of the text and divider. Okay, so I wasn't really interested in that for now, but as you can see, I still need to adjust the colors. So what I want to work now are the colors for the navigation. And as you can see here, we have for the links, for the drop downs, for the secondary navigation, for the cart icon. So there's a lot of work to do. in my live website, I have white navigation. So I have to basically set the navigation links to white. On hover, they kind of get a darker shade, so kind of gray, but I sort of like what we have here, which is the link you hover onto gets the focus and the underline while the others go gray. So I like it as it is now. So I like the orange. By the way, it should be the same orange as my color, website color. So I'm going to copy this orange here and paste it in there so it matches with the logo and everything. For the drop downs, I don't use drop downs for now. I don't use secondary navigation for now. And the cart icon, once again, must use the right orange. The cart text apparently is white, so it would be this one, I guess, the price. And then the hover color, it doesn't really change, which is totally fine for now. In the header and navigation, I can even select how the cart behaves. First of all, do I want the basket, or do I want the cart icon, or do I want the bag icon? I can even define what will show once I click on your cart. So the title, I could call it your order or whatever we want. Do I want to show the quantity arrows? That could be a good idea in case I allow for additional purchases within the cart page. And I want to hide the view cart. I want them to go straight to the checkout because I believe the cart is just an extra distraction. So by hiding the view cart, this button will go away. I can even add some text below the cart sidebar, which could be helpful for upselling or reassuring or simply branding. Okay, so we've done basically the top bar, we've done the header. Now I want to move on to, matching the rest. What I want to do also is recreating this kind of a waves that I've done with some custom CSS. So if I inspect here, if I click on the header, I believe that I added these rules, yes, actually to the site header on a min width of 768. So it'll be just for big screens. And as you can see, I gave it some padding, some clip path, polygon, and that's kind of creating the waves that you see now. So I'm going to copy this rule and paste it onto the staging site. And of course, nothing is going to happen because the selector is not called site header. So I'm going to try to find out what that is called, which is the header for container. So I'm going to copy this selector. I'm going to paste it in here. Perfect. And I just recreated the waves that I had on Business Bloomer, more or less. I think I need to add some more padding to the bottom. So let's do maybe 3. Oh no, that's pushing things up. So I'm not gonna work with padding. And what I want to do maybe is figure out how I can add, a bigger header height. I see here 90 pixel height for the 9.3 screen. So what we're gonna do, first of all, we're gonna match the 993 media query here so we don't create problems. And I'm gonna tell that the height is not 90, but is going to be maybe 150. Does it do anything? It kind of doesn't, because I have screen. I need to remove the and now we have it. The 150 is still below the header for container that they have into their custom CSS. So for now, let me do important. sounds a little bit better. So 120 sounds good. And now let's restore what we had earlier. So padding, top. Okay, that's kind of better. Now, what we need to do, given that I'm going to re-uploading the logo from here. So I'm going to go onto site identity and I'm going to change the logo to something longer. So let's see if by any chance I actually have it. Okay, maybe this is it. The logo white, select, skip cropping. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. In here, under the site logo, you can define the logo height. So it looks kind of small. I want to do a little bit more prominent. So I can do it onto maybe 70. Let's see how it is. If it fits, maybe a little bit too much. So let's do it under 50. So I'm gonna go down to 60 maybe first. Yeah, or to 50. Yeah, that's much better. So as you can see, it looks good. So I'm going to publish. I have my logo. I have my menu, which by the way, I'm going to be changing to something else. Actually, let's do it now just to show you that my goal is to change the new main menu onto join, onto WooCommerce plugins, onto WooCommerce tips, and I want to remove the plugin as I said earlier, so it'll be much shorter. So join WooCommerce community. It's going to be my first call to action without joining, maybe just for consistency. So WooCommerce community, WooCommerce plugins, and WooCommerce tips. Sounds to me like 3 good calls to action. So I'm going to publish this menu. I have the search, I have my account, I have my sliding cart, and I've completed my header work. Now I want to do a little bit more work on the homepage just to start with. As you can see here, I see the title, while on the main website I don't. So I need to turn this page into kind of a full width page with no title. So as long as I know, if we go onto the edit page, I should be able to turn the page template, and this is a Shoptimizer function, to, instead of full width, you see here, I can choose full width with no heading. So I'm going to select this, save, and now if I click on view page after it has saved, the title is gone, which is excellent. You can still see some errors, but basically the top part of the website is now done. I can still see here some white underneath, well, in between the space left by the waves and the gray that comes with the first row of my Powered by Gutenberg homepage. So I might need to change this white, and I might need to make this subtle gray my website background. So I'm going to inspect this cover block just to find out what kind of background color we are using, which is F5, F9, FC. So I'm going to copy that, customize, and under colors, I should have maybe under the general settings, yeah, the body background color. So instead of white, I want it to be perfect. As you can see here, the inside of the waves is now the same color as the first row. So this kind of subtle gray, and I'm going to publish. So I have basically in a few minutes already customized the header in a way that it was very similar to what I had earlier, but I've also optimized it so it's much more readable. I have icons for the search and for my account. I have a cool sliding cart that I didn't have before. I have a short menu, straight to the point, and my most important call to action in the top bar. Also, I changed the body background color so that no white background is left. Right, so one thing that I recently added to the homepage is that these blocks are kind of using a gradient. So they start gray, but they end up with, at the very bottom, with kind of orangey, trying to recreate the orange of my brand, and a sort of a, softer divider in between sections. So what I need to do now is to copy the CSS that I have, as you can see here, on the live website onto my staging site. So I'm going to inspect once again these block cover, and I'm gonna try to see what's going on with the gradient. As you can see here, I have a rule where the home using the class beyond, which to me are these covers that go beyond basically the margins, is using this linear gradient. So I think that's it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to copy this rule, go to the customizer under additional CSS and paste it in here. And wow, I'm already getting this gray to orange gradient for the first row, and then it should also apply to the alternating rows. This is white, well, kind of light gray, and then the following line is once again gray to orange. So what's missing now is the kind of a round edge. So I guess that will come from an after rule. In fact, as you can see here, the beyond after is getting these kind of a border radius 50%, 50%, and rotating, that should give you this shape. So I'm going to copy this from the live website and go here and paste, and yes, I'm now getting my shape, the shape that I wanted. So apparently I need to be doing some more extra work of adding some padding above the headings, because as you can see here, I have enough room. Actually, my headings are using 2.2 margin top, while in here my headings get no margins whatsoever. So I definitely want to change this, especially for these kind of landing pages. So I'm going to copy this rule, I'm going here, paste, and this time I want to say that the margin top will be this instead. So I'm going to paste that. As you can see now, there is much more spacing. I think that I should possibly remove that gray background for the body, because I've been working with white as my default. So let's go back here to the customizer under colors and go on to general, and body background color, let's go back to white. Okay, at least this part is fixed. What's not fixed is right here. So I'm going to publish this for now. So what I want to customize is the gray inside the CSS. Perfect. Which would be maybe like content, it's not. Page looks a little bit more likely. So the site, is that the same as here? Yes. Copy this rule, go to customizer, paste. Don't know about this overflow, so for now we're gonna remove that. The background is gray, so it's filled. This white, but once again, this is white. but maybe the answer is that even here, yeah, the site is gray, but then when we go on to the site content, the background is white. Perfect. Excellent. So the overall background is white for the body. The site background kind of fills up these areas with gray, but then the overall page content remains white, which I'm very happy with. So I'm going to publish this. Now, there is some work I need to do with spacing. There is some work I need to do with font size. There is some work I need to do with margins and alignments. And also, as you can see here, some shortcodes that are not rendering. Why? Because all the custom functions that I have on my live environment are still not under the staging site. So of course this is not working. Also, what's weird to me is the stars from the WooCommerce product reviews are not showing. I don't know if that's a conflict or not. So I'm definitely gonna check these out with the Shoptimizer support. And overall, my kind of homepage is sort of fixed. What I need to do is working on the footer, and then I will need to do, loads of magic on the shop page, product pages, cart page, checkout page, thank you page, because I've heavily customized those. So I'm going to start right now with, first of all, the font. So typography, presets. So all I have to do in here is using one of the 3 presets that come with Shoptimizer. I think the web safe, it's acceptable in a way where I don't need to rely on Google Fonts whatsoever. All right, so we talked about the home page. I want to go through the other pages, and especially the single product page. So I have the WooCommerce plugins page here. As you can see, it's a category and it's showing category description inside a box, which is kind of cool and neat. My products are here showing 12 of them out of 44. And there is some space in here. So it feels like Shoptimizer wants me to make use of its sidebar widgets. I started to have loads of plugins on this website. So I think it would be nice in here to place some filters, to place some tags so that it's easier to sort them, to find what people are looking for. So let's see what we have within the widgets. So we are into the widgets and exactly into the sidebar. So I'm going to add a widget, and if we go onto the Shoptimizer demo, I want to see what they use under the shop page. So they have a breakdown of categories, they have a filter by price, and they have a nice, tag widget. So let's go onto the customizer. I'm not interested in a category because I only basically sell one category. So what matters to me is a filter for the price. So I'm gonna add it. Then I want to add a new widget filtering products by maybe tags. Let's see if there is a tag. Yeah, product tag cloud. I like that. And then I want to see what else I can do. Products by price, I've done it. By rating, categories, by rating list, product search. This is a good thing, I think, to have. So let's add a product search. And also, I saw something earlier, which is the recently viewed products. This could be helpful if people are kind of going back and forth from one product to the other. Numbers of products to show, let's do 3. And then I also want to add another widget, so product, which is recent product reviews. How many do I want to show? Maybe 3 as well. All right, let's publish and go to the archives. This is the category page, but the same should apply to the shop page as well. And now I should get a non-empty sidebar once it refreshes. Very nice. So I have out of the box a filter by price. I have my most popular product tags. As you can see, I can refine my plugins by, for example, the ones that are for the cart page or for the checkout block or for the My Account page. I can search products. I have recent reviews. Very cool. And of course, I haven't visited any plugin, any product yet. So the recently viewed product is not showing. So let me go onto this one, for example, and go back to the mini plugins category. And now it should populate the recently viewed products. So it feels like it's a nice addition to make. The search products, I probably should push it to the top. So overall, this is working. That margin that we added for the headers is not working on this page. Remember, we had a margin top. So this will look much better. So that margin top is probably going onto the homepage only, as opposed to all the website pages. In regard to the single product page, so autocomplete orders, this is the one that I've customized the most. So this is the Shoptimizer staging site, looks good and everything. But if you go onto the live website instead and go onto WooCommerce plugins and open whatever you have here, oh, that's very nice. It's another error from Storefront, maybe, who knows. Basically, I've removed the image, the feature image. I have the title and call to action centered. So I want to get rid of this, the zoom, the lightbox, the whole gallery. I don't need that, and make this part basically centered. Then, of course, I have the tabs on my website. I have them exploded. So I have the description followed by the reviews, followed by some other custom tab, which is the documentation tab. In Shoptimizer, you can explode your tabs and achieve the exact same result. I have some extra stuff in here. Yeah, 3 benefits: no subscription, no bloat, and money back. Don't ask me why it's showing without icons. It's probably some temporary caching or CSS problem anyway. So I need to add those with a hook and make sure I can basically display extra content underneath the product summary, but before the tabs start, which is just a simple function. And now let's go to the checkout page. So if we go to layout, WooCommerce, we can do loads of things in here for the cart and checkout page. Here it is. Do I want to display the progress bar? I don't. Do I want to display the cross sells? I don't, because I don't send people to the cart. Do I need a mobile optimized cart page in case they access it? Yes, why not? Instruction free checkout, enable it. Where do I want the coupon code to go? Well, I will probably push it to the bottom. So if I publish this and go and refresh the Shoptimizer checkout page on staging, the steps that we've seen earlier are now gone. I have here additional information. I need to get rid of that. It's all in my custom code, but my very cool distraction-free checkout page with a coupon code at the bottom, so that people first enter the important information and then go look for a coupon code, as opposed to the other way around, is basically much better than what I have at the moment. So if I add this to cart and I complete the order, don't ask me why this icons are not showing. I have my distraction-free checkout as well, but it doesn't look as professional as this one, where it's all clear what you have to do. Your order information is there, and the only important call to action that driving customers' attention is that green button in there. Of course, I will customize this green to something else, because right now the main color of my Shoptimizer setup, so under general, is using, so the WooCommerce, yes, the buttons are using these green shades. And of course I need to customize the colors to match what I have on my website. Now I have a black, kind of dark gray button. I don't know if that's nice. Why don't we use my orange? So I'm going to once again inspect my orange, copy it, and I could say that the primary button background is not green, but it's orange. And if I hover onto it, I paste orange, but I go for a darker shade. I think the white might work, but also the black might stand out a little bit more. I don't know. So I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to go back to my checkout page, refresh, and as you can see, the orange looks a little bit better on the eye. It's not black. I need to decide whether I want the white font or the black font. I can try. So the primary button text color should be black. Publish. And let's see how it is. So that's the white. I'm going to open the checkout on a new page so we can compare side by side. And that's the black. So I think that the black version stands out much more than the white. So I'm gonna keep it as it is. And of course, these would have probably customized also what we have under the category shop page. So let's hover onto this. Yes, orange. Let's open the single product page. Yes, orange. So it's now using more consistent colors, and the green is basically gone from everywhere. Now, do we want this add to cart button in here without having people to, read the, in my case, plugin descriptions? No, we don't. So I'm going to remove the add to cart button from the shop loop. I might as well use a read more that I already have on my main website. Now, we've seen basically the header, we've seen the overall body, we've seen the product page and the checkout page. What I want to work on is the footer. So the footer in here has, let's see, okay, kind of a dark gray background and no widgets whatsoever. So on my live website, instead, I have, okay, a blue header with some extra search on top, which I won't need any longer because now my search is in the header. And therefore I have 4 widgets in here plus a copyright. So of course I can go to customize, I can go on to layout, footer. Do I want to show something called the below content footer, which I guess is something that goes above it and could be for your main call to action? Do I want to show the footer or do I want to show the copyright? Yes and yes. If I want to customize how they look, I need to look into widgets. So the copyright widget will require a text widget using this exact HTML. So I'm going to basically copy this div, copy as HTML. I'm going here, code, paste. I don't need this because the div will be created by the widget. Okay. And now the copyright has gone correctly at the bottom of the footer. I would like it to be center aligned. So I would work on the CSS later, but for now that's done. Now, if I go on to the footer, I can add widgets. All right, so I don't want this and I don't want that. Instead, I want, what do we have? Recent posts. So other widgets, post, okay, 5 posts. Then I want to add another widget called latest comments. So comments, there you go, with 5. Then I want to add another widget called find out more, which looks like a menu. So I need a menu in here called find out more, and I will be choosing the footer menu. And then I want to add contact information. All right, what I need is to add a text widget, and inside I will paste my content. I need the title also, so contact info goes here and publish. So as you can see here, it's mostly the same that I had. So what I want to do is the colors. So I go back to colors and go to the footer. Perfect. So we're talking about the footer background. Okay, so the footer comes with a background dark blue. I'm going to copy these, go into the customizer and paste it in here. Very nice. Then I'm going to customize in the heading colors. In here they're white, and in here they are white, which is perfect. The text color, so it would be this kind of text in here. What kind of color is it? White as well. So to make it a little bit different from the links, it cannot be white, of course. So I think the links should be white and the content should be using this gray that is already in there, and the links hover could be maybe our orange. So let's take it from here. So I'm going to get the orange. I kind of like what I had. So the links were orange. Okay. And the hover did nothing. But in my case, it's kind of nice to use the white as hover. Okay. So that's a little bit better and more on brand. This gray looks like a little bit too dark at this stage, so let's make it white. Perfect. And now I can publish. Of course, if I want the copyright to be centered, all I have to do is add in some CSS. So I'm going to inspect this and select the copyright class, and I will probably find out that it comes with text align to the right, or is it the widget? Yes, the copyright widget last child, it has a text align right. So if I disable that, it goes to the left. So what I want to do is copy this and go to additional CSS, scroll to the very bottom, paste, and I will say text align center, and that's done. So super interesting how in a few minutes I was able to already fix most of the issues that were created through the switch from Storefront to Shoptimizer. But hold on a sec, I am on Shoptimizer, so that means that I can start using all their amazing features that we haven't seen yet. And that's why I said I fell in love with Shoptimizer when I built the Checkout Summit website, because I could see that there were great features, and these features would be under the CommerceKit plugin that comes out of the box with Shoptimizer, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 extra features that really make your website first stand out, and second, increase your conversions, because this theme was thought out exactly for that reason. So first of all, Ajax search. I want to enable this Ajax search in the main search bar. By doing so, I basically Ajaxified my product search, and it should be much faster. It should give me suggestion, and you can do a lot of things, a lot of customization. For example, what do you want to use when there is a no results text? You'll probably say, in my case, no plugins available. So you can customize that. View all results. You want to include or exclude the out of stock products. You can exclude certain search fields. How many products do you want to display? And so on. So it's really, really cool. You can, of course, build the index, otherwise it's not going to work. So I'm going to save changes, and let's see if it builds the index. In fact, it's telling me rebuild complete. So if I go to WooCommerce plugins, in my case, use the search products bar here and look for tank, you see the Ajax is already working, and it's gonna give me the 2 top results, plus also a product tag, plus a link to other results like pages and posts, and you can view everything. So this is really cool and optimized, by the way. So I like that if you want to, because you can exclude those posts from the search, of course, but it gives you a very good optimized search bar. So that would be the first thing that you can do. Attributes, I do not have variable products, so the gallery and the swatches would be for that. The countdowns, they're awesome. So you can put them on the product, especially when there is a product on sale, and the checkout, especially if you use the hold stock setting. So it's nice to tell people, hey, you only have 10 minutes, and then the product goes back to being purchasable by someone else. You got free shipping notifications if you use, if it's a physical store, like mine is all digital products and subscriptions and memberships. Then comes the order bump. It's a great thing to enable in the mini cart and the checkout. You can see that in my playlist where I built the Checkout Summit website. I can add badges, product galleries in case I make use of extra images for each plugin, such as screenshots and stuff like that. Size guides that, as we see in the playlist, you can use even for other interesting things, not necessarily the size guide of your products. It could be anything, could be documentation, could be anything really that matters to your customers. The sticky add to cart, that's a great thing to enable. So of course, if you're on the mini plugin and you scroll down, you lose the focus of the add to cart. So you can enable these on desktop and even on mobile if you wish to. And once you refresh your product page and you scroll down past the button that you see, the sticky add to cart bar will show, and you can scroll to the reviews, you can scroll to the description, back to the description, and you can add to cart. So super handy. I also have a stock meter. This is helpful, if you have items in stock. Not my case, because I have a limited stock for digital, but in case you're a physical store, this is an amazing thing. And if I'm launching a new product, the wait list is, coming out of the box, and the wish list as well. So if people want to save some of the plugins into their cart and not purchase immediately, I also can enable the wish list with this. So I don't need to install 20 plugins in order to have these conversion optimization features. Now, to complete this job of migrating from Storefront to Shoptimizer, we've seen some CSS customization that I've moved from one place to the other. What's missing now are all my custom functions that I have in Storefront in order to, customize everything. So I've done so much work over the years on the checkout, the single product page, on the admin side, on the invoicing side, and so on. So all I have to do is basically migrating those custom PHP functions from where they are now, which is the Storefront child theme, to a new Shoptimizer child theme. So how would I do that? First of all, I need to create a child theme. So I will go onto my file manager and I will create a new theme called Shoptimizer child, or whatever I want to call it, with a style.css and a functions.php file in it. At this stage, I will migrate all the CSS placed so far in the customizer onto the style CSS. So I have it all in there. It's easier to work with. I can connect via FTP and do changes as I wish. And also all the functions that I have now into my live environment child theme. Once I've done that, I'm basically done. So I can say I'm good to go. I've tested my pages, my main pages. I've tested my important pages like product page, checkout page, thank you page, my account page. Speaking of which, my account page is also using a nice layout, so it's good to know. And you've done a test purchase. At that stage, you're really ready to go. So what do I usually do? I do not push the staging to production, because in the meanwhile I will have new orders on production. I don't want to mess things up if anything goes wrong. So I'm going to redoing everything manually on my live environment one by one. So first of all, I'm going to import the child theme onto the live environment. This child theme will already come with CSS and PHP customization. Is not active, right? Second of all, I'm going to export the customizer settings from the staging site so that I can later import them into the live environment once I switch over to Shoptimizer. So I will have to import basically theme files. I will have to import customizer settings after installing Kirki, and install and activate CommerceKit. And even CommerceKit, you can export and import back the settings. So it's going to take a while, but this allows me to, take a good backup of this live environment. If anything goes well, I am there live, switching back to the working version. I can fix whatever is not working on staging first. So it's not a straightforward process, but it is possible. And to conclude this session today, this very long session, is to say that switching from A to B is possible. Keeping the same design from A to B is also possible, while also enhancing the design and functionalities, because the new theme, in this case Shoptimizer, comes with additional features, cool performance optimizations, and great tips for increasing your sales conversion rate. Which means that in the next few days, once I've completed this work in the the back end on staging, you will see the new website going live. I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to see all these little features working. Bumps, countdowns, wish lists, wait lists, extra sections. We haven't seen that on the thank you page. Badges, loads of the Ajax search. So anything that can really improve what I have, make it faster, make it more performant, make it compatible, because I know that the Shoptimizer people are there working on a daily basis to make it perfect. as opposed to, in my case, Storefront, which hasn't moved, which hasn't really improved in the last few years. And in fact, now they're working on the new FSE theme as opposed to improving Storefront. So I'm excited. I want to see where this big change takes me. I'm going to keep an eye on analytics. I'm going to keep an eye on performance, on speed, conversion rate, and all the amazing stats that I get off Metric. By the way, that's another great product. So if you watched the entirety of this video and you're not bored yet, you can check out Shoptimizer in the video description. And I'm looking forward to see how my stats might improve and how my sales might increase just because I haven't changed nothing but a single thing that could make the difference between slow and fast, between not optimized and optimized for sales, and not performant and built with performance and mobile first in mind. So exciting times, and if you want to follow me on this journey, as usual, subscribe to this channel and watch my playlist where I've built the Checkout Summit website if you want to see how to build a website from scratch with Shoptimizer.